So I've decided to take a unique approach to XRP. This is crypto for the rest of us. I do this 6 days a week, sometimes more. Tip, tool, coin analysis. I also do step-by-step tutorial videos. Check out my school link below. And I put out pricing predictions, you name it. Now, XRP. Some days I read about XRP and I say to myself, oh, that's going to go to the moon. Then other days I read about XRP, or I should say I see the articles that are coming out and I see the way people are talking about it, leaves kind of a bad taste in my mouth, and I say, this is going to zero. So I can kind of see it from both perspectives. Now, I've been doing XRP videos, let's see, I've got 16 of them, and I started with going into detail. So here's how I'm going to approach this. I'm going to provide the same amount of information. I've summarized those 16 videos. And I'm going to provide the information and look at it from a very optimistic standpoint. That's what we're going to do first. And I'm going to say, here's why this is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Then I'm going to look at the exact same information from a pessimistic standpoint and say, this is why it's going in the toilet. And then you can decide which way you think it's going to go. Recently, and I always have to say, my disclaimer, big dumb animal, don't do what I do. I have sold probably 90% of my XRP when it ran up to around $2.70. Now first, let me just say this video down here at the bottom, this is my playlist of just XRP. If you subscribe, and please do hit that like button. It helps the channel out. But that video is about, it says 11 minutes. And it goes into great detail if you're not familiar with exactly how it works. In other words, it talks about XRP, the cryptocurrency, and Ripple, the private company, and how those two things are completely different. There's a wall between them. And how Ripple utilizes their RippleNet, the cross-border payment solution, as well as their ODL, on-demand liquidity, and how they utilize XRP in RippleNet to provide those services to banks. And how they also don't have to use XRP. The reason I made that, and I keep pointing it out in videos, is because you'll see a lot of articles where they confuse Ripple and XRP and make you think, whether they're doing it on purpose or not, doesn't matter. People think that if they're buying XRP, some people, that they're getting basically a part of Ripple, a part of the Ripple company. No, Ripple's a private company. They can have stock, etc., whatever they want to do. XRP is a cryptocurrency. The two are completely different. And the SEC has finally admitted that the XRP is not a security. So of course it's not a share of Ripple. Ripple's been saying that for a long time. And the SEC finally said, okay. All right. Let's go over these 9 things. And the 9 things are what could make XRP so valuable. Now we're going to start. And we're going to go over the 9 things in an optimistic view that make XRP go to the moon. 9 different things. First, 12 years ago, OpenCoin was incorporated and it became Ripple. I think it was Ripple Labs, then Ripple. Doesn't matter. They've been doing this for 12 years. They've been doing cross-border payments. Ripple has. They have deals with banks all over the world. Large institutions. Because XRP and the XRP ledger, it's fast, it's cheap, it's secure, and it was created for that purpose. So that large banks and institutions could move money cross-border, cheap, fast, and secure. And it was way better, or is way better, than the current method of SWIFT. If you watch my first video, I go into how SWIFT works, how RippleNet works, why RippleNet's better, etc. And they've been doing this for 12 years. So they're probably doing an astronomical amount of volume, and they're just knocking it out of the park. That's why they were created, and they've been doing that for a while. Not so much in the US because of the SEC case. However, from an article I read, they were doing some cross-border payments with RippleNet. Ripple was, but they weren't using XRP. They were using some stable coins. Anyway, secondly, could be used as a currency. That would open it up to what value? Who knows? Incredible. Store of value. Just like Bitcoin, Ripple could be used as a store of value. Fourth, RWA tokenization. They've talked about some solutions and how it could be used, the ledger, for tokenization of real-world assets. That's the fourth one. Fifth one, Ripple has a solution they call Ripple Custody, where anyone, but probably going after banks, institutions, whoever it may be, can use their custody services wherein they'll hold the crypto for them. That has a lot of uses because many times, let's say it's a money manager or whoever it may be, they don't want to hold the keys and whatnot for their clients. They want a third party to do it who can do it in a secure manner. And there's services for that. And Ripple now has what they call Ripple Custody. And XRP may be used to provide those services or pay for them or transactionally, not sure. Then there's Ripple USD, which is coming out. This is December 11th when I'm recording. It's not out yet, but it's very close. I saw the CEO put out a note on December 10th that it's very close to coming out. That's a stablecoin. If you look at the economics around stablecoins, there's a lot of money to be made there. Then recently, this year, I believe it was third quarter of 2024, they released a report, which they do every quarter. It's not the type of report you would find from a public company because they're private. They don't have to release a report, but they do. And they can put whatever they want in there. Okay. And they said two major things. One was that they were going to, in 2025, release the ability to have smart contract programmability. That's a big deal. That would be on the XRP ledger so that developers can build dApps and whatnot. And secondly, XRP EVM sidechain so that it would be compatible with EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine. Two big additions to the XRP ledger, which would allow it to compete with other blockchains for developers' attention to build dApps, etc., and compete with the likes of everyone, including Ethereum. That's huge. The ninth thing is an ETF that's been filed, and I'm guessing sometime next year, get a new administration, blah, 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 it'll be approved. ETF can bring substantial money to the XRP cryptocurrency. All right. Now, they also have what I like to call a war chest of cash. They have at the moment somewhere, I can't remember where they are now, but somewhere between 30 and 40 billion. Let's just say 35 billion. There's 100 total XRP, 100 billion total XRP. And I think they still have about 35 billion on their balance sheet. And right now, I think it's $2.40. So, and they have put it in escrow. They use another subcorp, which sells it. But the bottom line is every month they can release $1 billion, sell it, and take the proceeds for Ripple, operating budget, strategic partnerships, you name it. They don't have to use the whole billion. Sometimes they will release the billion, but some of it they can put back into the escrow. They can do up to $1 billion a month. And that way, it just continues to go until it's empty. So, for example, if it were to hit $3, they could sell $1 billion in a month and make $3 billion on which to run their company. So for the last 12 years, they have essentially had unlimited funds. So just imagine the amount of customers in business they must be doing through the roof. They have billions of dollars. How many companies have billions of dollars as their budget for a month? Not many, I wouldn't think. Okay. Oh, especially cryptocurrency. I can't name or think of any other cryptocurrency that has billions of dollars per month that they could apply to their operating budget. So, yeah, if you think they're going to be number one, they kind of have to be. How could you have billions of dollars a month in your operating budget and not make the company number one? I'm not sure. All right. Now let's look at the price prediction. So here it is. I zoomed out. Let me zoom in. Actually, let's look at CoinGecko. On CoinGecko, currently market cap 136 billion, which makes them number at the moment of recording, makes them number 4, but they were number 3 the other day. Tether was a little more, but Tether's a stable coin, obviously. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP is number 3 at 136 billion, taking out the stable coin. This is just a chart on CoinGecko. You can see it was over $3. What was it? Maybe around $3.50. I'm just ballparking. That was in 2018, a high. A bunch of people bought it, held on to it. Here we are in 21 or so. It reached almost $2, and then recently up to like $2.70 or something. So that's from inception till now. The high was around $3.50. Now it's $2.40. Okay. If we look at it on TradingView, I did just a fib levels, not all the way back over time, which most people prefer to do. I'm just doing it recently. I have my own theory on that. Just generally speaking, I think this market's very different than the last one. Okay, so if doing that, it looks like it at the 1618 or 2618 or 3618 or 423 level, you're looking at roughly $4.50, $6.80, was that $9.25, $10. So let's say it just were to take off to 450, the 161 level on the fib. Okay, you could get it up to 450, possibly more. But let's talk about price predictions, because there was a huge number of people, and I didn't pull it up here, but if we looked at the search volume on Google Trends, you'll see that XRP has been talked about for years. And it's probably still one of the number one talked about cryptocurrencies, other than Bitcoin, maybe and Ethereum. Look at these price predictions I'll put up here. I've did multiple videos where I went into detail. I'm going to save that time and just show you this list. We've got price predictions from Schwartzman, JD, BitBoy, eGreg Crypto, Steph is Crypto, Crypto Tank. I found these predictions and I found articles written about them. Levi, Abdul Karim, Changely, The Hill Capital, which went into a very detailed, I did an episode just on that. They did like 4 to 6, I think, different valuation methods. And that was, theirs was 22,000. Levi, 38,999. So it was from $5. I just said, look, maybe it makes it to 450, but all of these people and many more think it's somewhere between $5 per coin and 39,000 per coin. If that's not to the moon, I don't know what is. Okay. So there you have the 9 reasons XRP could just rocket to the moon. Now, let's look at those 9 things from a pessimistic standpoint. Here we go. First, cross-border payments. I tried to find information on cross-border payments. It turns out they don't really say, they being Ripple, how much money there is transacting, how many transactions are happening, what they make per transaction, what the total amount is that's being transferred year to year, quarter to quarter, month to month. But I did find, and this was in 2022, I believe, they said, hey, they have a run rate. As of Q2 2022, they have a run rate that exceeds 15 billion. Okay, so I'm guessing it's less than 16 billion. Let's call it 15 billion in a year. And then just recently, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO, was on 60 Minutes, and he had a particular thing he put on X where he was saying, here's some of the things they may have gotten wrong. But he happened to say, hey, they also failed to mention Ripple is doing billions of dollars KYC transactions for our institutional customers. Okay, he just says billions of dollars. In 2022, they're talking about 15 billion. So maybe it's 15 billion a year or 20 billion a year. Well, how does that compare? I looked it up, and Swift is doing 150 trillion a year, which is 150,000 billions. And they're doing 15, which I think is 0.1%, a small number. So compared to Swift, they are barely even in the game. And they've been doing this for 12 years. That's the first thing, cross-border payments. From what I can find, they're really not moving the needle. Second, used as a currency. It's not being used as a currency. Maybe, but it's not. Store of value. That's Bitcoin. Maybe, but it's not. RWA tokenization. They've been talking about it, but they haven't been doing it. Ripple custody. Well, that's going to make Ripple rich, not XRP. Unless maybe some XRP is used to pay for the services. But generally speaking, that's a Ripple thing. Ripple USD, number 6. Well, that'll make Ripple rich, not XRP holders. Smart contract programmability, EVM sidechain. It sounds to me like they're stretching. They're trying to change direction. They're realizing this cross-border payment thing's not really bringing in what they thought it was going to bring in customer-wise. And what are they going to do? So they're trying to branch out, make a little bit of a detour, and go this other way and say, you know what? We're like the other layer ones. Come build on us. Lastly, the ETF. That might help the price, right? Lock up some. Okay. That's not helping the price from the standpoint of, look at the great things they're doing. Look how amazing the business is. Look at what they've been able to do. They're growing quarter to quarter, month to month. Year to year. And it is just ballooning. That's the way I like to see something rise in price. Not, hey, so we're going to hold a bunch of this so there's less of it on the market and the price goes up. That's not really the way to do it, but okay. Now, 3 things I don't like about how other people have been discussing it. Marketing. The way they market, or not they, the marketing I have seen to get you to buy it. First of all, like I said, they confuse XRP and Ripple. They will often write the article in such a way that it looks like XRP is Ripple and Ripple is XRP. And if you buy XRP, you're buying part of Ripple. It's not the case. 2 totally different things. Then, like I showed you, the projections through the roof. The Vahil one, they went into a lot of different methodologies to do the projections. But even they said at the end in the conclusion that they didn't believe it would get to their highest, which was 22,000, if it was just a transactional cross-border payment. They believed that it would need to get to become a store of value. So even they said, as a company doing cross-border payments, it's not going to hit their projections. It needs to kind of spin, pivot, and do a little something different. And that was $22,000, which took it to, what, 2,200 trillion. Bitcoin is 2 trillion. And they were projecting 2,200 trillion. No. Tactics. I saw a YouTuber, I'm not going to say who it was because I like some of their videos. And they've been making videos recently about XRP, and they've talked about it in the past. He didn't talk, he had a very long video, talked nothing about how much money's going through it or anything like that. It felt more like, and he actually said, if you don't understand XRP and you're not buying it, you're ignorant. That's not a sales tactic for me. Tell me why it's better than Swift. Show me how much business Swift does. Show me how much business Ripple's doing and show that it's growing. Then I'm interested. But don't just say, I'm stupid and ignorant if I don't buy it. I don't like those kind of tactics. And then you've got the people who say, well, the reason it's hasn't gone up in price is because the SEC has kept the price down by suing them and having this lawsuit. And if it wasn't for the SEC, the price would be through the roof. And by the way, it must be amazing because the government wants to attack them with lawsuits. So XRP is doing something that no other crypto is doing, and the government is scared of it. They have to be. They sued them and went after them, but they're not going after any other cryptos. So therefore, XRP is doing something no one else is doing. The government's scared of it, and they want to hold it back, and it would go through the roof if it just were for the fact that the SEC was not doing that and trying to hold them back. That's another argument I've seen. They've had 12 years to do this. And like I said, 150,000 billion is what Swift's doing a year. 150,000 billions. And they're only doing 15 billion. That's nothing. They're barely in the game. They also have been doing this for 12 years with the ability to sell a billion, up to a billion XRP a month. Recently it was 50 cents. That's 500 million a month. It also got almost to $3, which would be close to 3 billion a month. They have a huge operating budget, tons of time, and I don't think they're doing anything because they won't release any information. There's no information about what they're doing quarter to quarter. Okay, why? Well, if you leave it to people's imagination, what do people do? If you told them how much you were actually doing quarter to quarter, year to year, they would have numbers and metrics on which to measure you. But if you leave it to people's imaginations always run wild. You always want to believe that your $1,000 worth of X is going to become $1 million if it just wasn't for the fact that the government was holding us back. And you'll be a millionaire if you buy it. Question is, who's been making money over these last 12 years? I don't know. Maybe the people selling XRP? All right, so if you look at the price prediction, it could potentially get up to maybe 4.5 if people pushed it. But if it goes up to 4.5, almost $5, it would essentially be almost the price of Ethereum. 270, 280, we're getting close to Ethereum. You go up a little higher, you're getting Ethereum numbers. Now I went and I looked, DeFi Llama, generally speaking, Ethereum's making, on this particular day it said fees $9 million. Now of course that's not profit, but $9 million in fees. I looked at it over time. If you assume $5 million a day in fees, then going through Ethereum would be 1.8 billion a year. If XRP is doing 15 billion a year, are they doing almost 2 billion in fees? No. Why? Because I also looked it up and they said for a transaction, it does what they call drops, 10 drops, which is 0.00001 XRP. My goodness. It is very cheap. It is fast. It is secure. That's great. But they're not making anywhere near what Ethereum's making in fees. Why in the world would their market cap be anywhere near Ethereum? Okay. So there you have it. People are pushing it, telling you you're ignorant if you don't buy it. There are articles that are misdescribing XRP and Ripple and how they relate and don't relate. They've got a huge budget, unbelievable amounts of money that no one else has had in this space. They've had 12 years to get this thing going, but they won't say what they're doing. Time is up. What are you doing? What are your numbers? How much have you done? If they can't let people know what's going on with their cross-border payment business and how they're just crushing it, then maybe they're not. And if they're not, it will probably go in the toilet. 10 cents, 50 cents, who knows? Back down. All right. So that was it. I gave you the optimistic view with all the same data. Took the same data, gave you the pessimistic view. Please let me know what I got wrong. I love it when people leave comments. It's always helpful. Of course, they're the Brian, you're dumb, Brian, you're bald, Brian, you're old, Brian, you don't know what you're talking about. I get it. Thanks. But if you've got comments, for example, point me to the site where they tell us how much they've been doing total in cross-border payment transactions per month, per quarter, per year, what they're making in revenue, how many transactions in total did they do, that sort of thing. So we can get the numbers and see what we really think they should be worth. Anything like that, facts that I've missed, let me know because it would help all of us out. Use this information however you will. I'll use it to make my decisions. You use it to make yours. Thanks for watching. I hope we can all make generational wealth together with crypto. Have a great day.